Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're on a tangent today. We are running wild. So we're going to be talking about another flipping video, and I'm not sure what number this is, but I'm sure my administrator will definitely keep me cued on what number. However, what we're going to be talking today is what is your responsibility when you decide to become a car dealer? Like what is exactly, overall, what kind of car dealer are you going to be? And I don't mean how much money are you going to have, and I don't mean how many cars a month you're going to sell. I mean, what kind of genuine person are you going to be to the individual that buys your vehicle? And here's the thing. Before you ever jump into this business, you need to have this question answered. And I'm going to help you out with it. The world needs more good people to rely on. So the first thing I would tell you to do is, your customers are going to trust that this vehicle is safe and it does not have major mechanical issues. They have good faith that they're buying a vehicle from you, and you want to be that guy. Trust me, that is the only way you will succeed in the car business. You will eventually lose if your intention is just to screw people and just make things as shoddy as possible and get by as least amount of possible and make as much profit. The truth of the matter is, profit's not bad. Profit is what we all must make and what we all must survive on. What's bad is when you make profit instead of taking care of the essentials that need to be done on a vehicle. So, why is this important? I'll tell you why. Because ultimately, it all comes down to how you buy the car. And the reason that I feel like this is important to talk about right this second is my next bit that I'm going to be getting on is how to actually look at and value a vehicle professionally. I don't mean like some ding-dong that's sitting at a car desk that thinks that he is just the used car super salesman of the world and he can look at a book, smoke a cigarette for 3 minutes, and tell you what your car's worth. No, I mean somebody that really knows how to appraise a vehicle, how to test drive a vehicle, how to look at it, analyze all its safety systems and its modules on it, know what the tires mean, know if the vehicle's been in damage, whether it's had paint damage. I'm getting ready to get into that series, which is going to be part of the flipping cars. But the reason that I'm giving you this video is because all these things are so important for you, the little guy that's trying to just put all your money that your family can scrape up and you're trying to buy these cars and you want to flip them. Well, one thing that's going to either make you or break you is how you treat that customer. Now, here's the general rule of thumb. Let's talk about safety. If a vehicle has airbag issues, and I'll teach you how to check for those, pass. Unless you have really deep pockets, or if you have a friend that does that for that particular dealership, that can give you access to be able to do the safety modules on those. Next, anti-lock braking systems can be fixed. They're not as expensive as the ABS, but they can get very pricey. Those are two things that you really don't want to mess around with. So if you're looking at a car and when you do the ABCs on the gauge check, I'll teach you about that later, these are things that are going to cross your mind. So it doesn't matter how cheap the price is, and it doesn't matter how good you think that deal is. If you can't take care of that customer when you go sell that car and you can't look them in the face and tell them it's okay for their 16-year-old to drive at 65 miles an hour, and if something jumps out in front of them, they hit that brake, that car better stop. You understand what I'm saying? So, and you're responsible for that. You're responsible if that child gets in an accident that those airbags are working as the factory intended them to. So you do not play or BS with that whatsoever. Period. End of story. Don't do it. Next, let's talk about major malfunctions on the vehicle. Well, the truth of the matter is you can't drive a car to know what it's... You're not going to know what a car is capable of until you've driven it, which goes back again to the auto auction. You go to an auto auction as a car flipper, then the next thing you've got a problem with is if you got to drive that car and take it up to mileage. So you're just playing Russian roulette, really, because you're never going to be smart enough to know what that car drives like. No one is. So I would definitely say go with private sellers. We'll get more into that. But that particular customer that buys that car, he needs to know that that vehicle he's counting on for his work, he may only have $1,500. He may only have $2,500 between him and homelessness. So when he gives that to you, he needs what you to sell to him to do the job it's intended to do. You do not screw people on major mechanical issues. If you know there's a transmission issue, do not buy the vehicle unless you are willing to change out the transmission. Do not buy a vehicle that has a head gasket issue with the intention of putting something in it to quiet down the head gasket. Am I right, Jen?
Absolutely.
What's going to happen?
It's going to patch it temporarily, and then it's going to blow on them, and these people are going to have
to... you get a single mom with 3 kids. Yeah, great. You just made $1,500. You should have made $1,000 and paid $500 to change the head gasket, because now you've got a family that's probably going to lose their job in their house because you're an asshole that won't spend the money to fix the car the way it needs to be fixed to start with. Now, I understand that, some things are not your fault. But when you are going to be this type of deal, or you need to make up your mind, before you ever buy the first car, what you find acceptable and what you don't find acceptable. If you have the ability to fix major catastrophic things that are wrong with a vehicle, then great. But I will warn you of this. You better know everything that's wrong with that car before you ever give $1 for it. All right, Jen?
Definitely so.
How important is it to look underneath it?
Very.
How important is it to drive it?
Very.
How important is it to scan it?
Very.
How important is it to check for paint work?
Very.
What about hail damage?
Definitely.
There's all those types of things that are important, that are relevant in the purchase of a vehicle. Put it on pause. Okay, so I guess we're back, Camera Girl?
Yes, we're back.
Just had a lighting problem.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, guys, the only reason I'm really getting into this is because we are getting ready to have a value these cars, and you just need to know in your mind that you're going to be a good guy and you're going to do things right. As long as you're going to be a good guy and you're going to do things right, everything I'm going to tell you from this point on is going to make a lot of sense. If you want to flip cars and you want to make a profit, you concentrate on making a fair profit. You don't have to make it all, and you don't have to cut corners to burn people and hurt them.
Right.
What you need to do is you need to be the bigger person, and you need to be a better car buyer to deliver a more superior product than your competitor. And the only way you do this is by hard work, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and leaving nothing to chance. Every car that you have own, you better have driven, and you better have driven long enough to know that it's a good car, and you better have checked the brakes on it, make sure it's not overheating, make sure the car has airbags that are functional, all the ABCs on the gauges are checked. These are things that are important. Am I right, Jen?
Definitely. You would be surprised how many, well, I mean, a lot of times sellers too, they'll represent the car one way.
All the time. We're able to buy 1 out of 8 or 9 cars that we look at, right?
Right, definitely so.
I mean, that's even probably on a good week. We have to go through 8, 9, 10 of them to be able to buy one that meets, and you see what they come in like. So we're not even being that picky, but there's certain things we will not negotiate on for a vehicle as far as what we will accept and what we will not accept.
Right.
And at the end of the day, do you want someone killed or hurt?
Absolutely not.
No. Would you rather make $800 instead of $1,600 and make sure the job's done right?
Yep.
Absolutely, guys. Anyway, the next thing we got coming is how to buy these cars. And I'm going to educate you on to be the best car hustler you ever dreamed of being. You're going to know how to find out what's wrong with them. You're going to know how to drive them. You're going to know what to look for and what to pass up on and what to take and run with.
Definitely, because a lot of times, you'll have people tell, or we go, oh, it's a great running car. Well, can we drive it? No, I'd really rather you not drive it. And why is that?
The reason they don't want you to drive it is because there's something wrong with it.
Going to find out that there's a big problem, and it's going to be too late.
It's business. If you were selling something there was nothing wrong with, would you have a problem with somebody driving it?
No.
Of course not. So let's don't be stupid.
So you're going to tell them you're going to make a video and tell them what they need to take with them, what tools they can get to help them purchase
right now we're going to start flipping cars, and in our series now we're moving into how to purchase vehicles. This is a big deal, and of course these particular videos are really good for anybody out there that needs to either buy their car or they're in the business to try to buy and flip cars and or just want general knowledge.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Because even if they're going to go buy one, they still want to make sure that their investment's going to be sound.
And guys, I'm going to tell you something. After this many years, I've seen every kind of POS piece of crap that can sell somebody a car there ever was. I've seen every imaginable thing you can ever dream of in coolant systems.
Missing airbags.
Missing airbags that are taped back
Unplugged
up.
lights in the odometer cluster.
Yeah, busted odometer cluster lights so you can't see the indicators.
Yep.
One time we seen tape holding in a wheel stem. Shoot, I've seen brakes put back on without the brake pads. I've seen duct tape on brake lines. I mean, what have we not seen? I mean, we've seen putty on the bottom of a brake pan. I mean, bottom of a transmission pan.
How about the entire frame underneath of the one? They hit it with extra padding under the carpet, but it had the entire hole. You could, when we pulled the carpet to do the carpet, yeah, you could completely see the ground underneath.
Dude, there is so many things that people will lie to you about. This is why this is so important. If you want to become a car guy, you are going to have to know everything, and you have 5 minutes to deliver this complete accuracy on everything that has to do with that vehicle. You're going to have to become an expert, and I'm going to teach you how to do that.
That's right, Carman.
You're going to be better than me because you're going to do what I tell you to, and I take shortcuts on my own advice. So see, you're already better than I am. Anyway, I love you guys. Subscribe, and do me a favor. You better be supporting my girl over at, tell them what to support you at.
People's Choice Award from Ms. Woman United States.
Right.
Need your votes.
And Jen's our administrator, so as soon as you say, hey, I want to know how to support you at that, she's going to be like, all right, this is my new favorite person.
He is so crazy, but I would appreciate your support.
Love you guys, man. I want to make you hardcore.
Thanks for your support.
You're nothing but profit. You're going to be the force that everybody wants to deal with when you learn how to do it.
That's right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one.